Welcome back for another video. In this video we'll look at how the team's going to line up for Gameweek 25, including the transfer trends and the talking points for this game week. It's a blank and double game week, and if you missed the video on which players to buy, that'll be on screen at the end. Right before we get into it, today's video has been sponsored by Fantasy Football League. FFL is a new, free fantasy game for iOS where you can play fantasy football in multiple leagues at the same time. If you want a front three of Messi, Haaland and Lewandowski, there's nothing stopping you. Or if you only trust your Premier League knowledge, then pick an FPL based team. There's no right or wrong way to play. You can select players from the Premier League, La Liga, Champions League, Serie A and many more. Click the link at the top of the description to play now with me, and the link will also auto-join my mini league. Big thanks to Fantasy Football League for supporting the channel, and you can support the channel too by playing. To get the app and join my league, click the link below, or go to ffl.co/fplfocal now. Starting with a quick look back at how last game week went. 59 points to allow, enough for a green arrow, but the biggest disappointment was Haaland, who registered 0.73 XG and failed to score against Forest. If you went elsewhere with your captaincy, well played. It's the sort of bold decision that we require now to get a more respectable rank. City conceded from pretty much any chance of the game, which could have been a nice swing, as we made the call to bench Kepa in light of the early news that James and Thiago Silva were missing from the squad. Fernandes pitched in with a parting gift, 12 points from 2 assists and 3 bonus, even beating Rashford for bonus who scored twice. It's time to play more aggressively this week, and a hit or two are planned, so let's have a look at how the team's lining up and the transfer plans. Ederson's away to Bournemouth this week, who over the season have registered a total of 19.3 XG, which ranks rock bottom. Next lowest is Crystal Palace with 22 XG. They've taken 36 shots, fewer than any other team. A clean sheet here is an absolute must. One clean sheet in Man City's last 7 games isn't good enough, and when you look at some fixtures like the Villa game, where Villa scored from a grand total of 0.28 XG all game, there has been some underperformance in that respect. The back three is Gabriel, Patterson and Akanji. Arsenal's last clean sheet was all the way back in Gameweek 20 in the North London derby. They need to improve in that respect as well. It's a great double game week on paper, away to Leicester and home to Everton. One big weakness of this team is no Saka, but after weighing it up, it's not worth selling Gabriel as part of a hit when there's other players in the team that don't play at all. Patterson joins a long list of injuries we've had to deal with this season. In my eyes, he makes a cameo off the bench at best this game week, so a -8 is on the cards and we'd have him first on the bench. Dyche has no reason to drop Coleman given his recent form, including a goal last game week, 2 clean sheets in the last 3. Akanji completes the defence and he'll likely get the nod ahead of Patterson if there is a benching decision to be made. He's been a nightmare transfer, having been benched once all season when we picked him up, followed by 3 consecutive benchings the week we grabbed him. That said, Akanji's floor is 1 point if he comes off the bench and his ceiling 6 points if he starts and keeps a clean sheet. Meanwhile, Patterson's floor is probably 1 point and his ceiling 2 points, chasing the upside. There's some surgery planned for the midfield this week. It's Ødegaard, Andreas, Bruno and Almiron. Ødegaard was outstanding in the Villa win, picking up all 3 bonus from just an assist. Saka leads him by a point over the season now. Interestingly, Saka has 1 double-digit return this season, while Ødegaard has 6. Saka has 12 points to Ødegaard's 21. However, Saka has returned in more games and he is the more consistent player in that respect. Andreas is one of the best enablers I can ever remember in FPL, certainly in midfield. 10 attacking returns this season and only 4.4 mil now. A perfect week to call on him. The FA Cup 5th round is in the midweek that follows Gameweek 25. Leeds and Fulham play one another that fixture. If Leeds knock Fulham out, then it's an absolutely massive impact on Gameweek 28, as both Liverpool and Fulham won't blank that week. I'd like to avoid free hit in Gameweek 28 if possible and use Liverpool and Fulham assets that week instead. Fernandes has been a good transfer all in all. He'll remain a good asset this season and he might find his way back into the team later on. Only De Bruyne's created more chances and big chances this season than Fernandes. He is one guaranteed transfer out though, and it's Salah who'll be coming in and he'll be captain. 2.8 mil in the bank, so we've got exact money available for the move. But several other transfers are being planned on top of Salah, more on that at the end. Liverpool have looked better than the past couple of games and Salah has returned in both for 17 points across 2 games. It's the sort of returns you'd be very happy with if it were to happen in a double game week. The front 3 is Kane, Nketiah and Haaland. Kane's been outstanding all season and it's a very tough sell, but he's likely to be leaving the team as well. In each of the last 2 games he's only taken 1 shot in the box, 0.18 XG and 0.07 XG total for those games. Before the last 2, the last time he only took 1 shot in the box was back in Gameweek 1. Perhaps Spurs are missing Conte, perhaps Bentancur as well, probably even both. It is a gamble given his consistency this season. Bentancur is out for the season, Conte could be back around Gameweek 27. Nketiah owners can feel very unfortunate, with 1.88 XG in his last 4 games but no goals scored, just a single assist. The pressure is on, with Jesus expected to return in a few weeks. Back in Gameweek 21, Nketiah looked undroppable after 2 goals against Man United to make it 4 goals in 5 since the restart. No Saka is the major weakness of this team, but if Nketiah can get back to goal scoring ways and Odegaard chips in, then it won't matter. Likewise, 1 clean sheet across the 2 games for Gabriel would be decent enough. Nketiah gets the vice captaincy. Haaland completes the 11, and in many ways it's nice to have a game where we're forced to make a decision for captaincy. You could certainly still back him. Over the season, Bournemouth are 3rd worst for expected goals conceded. Over the last 6 game weeks, they're not much better and 5th worst. Considering the quality available to us as alternative captains, in the likes of Saka, Salah, Nketiah, Odegaard etc., it's worth betting on a double Gameweek player over Haaland. We'll skip over the bench this week as none have a fixture besides Kepa. So an ambitious -8 is being weighed up this week, which is Fernandes to Salah, Kane to Darwin, Shaw to Alexander-Arnold and Almiron to McNeil. This replaces 3 blank Gameweek players with doublers, and all 4 have a double this week. In a perfect world, Leeds beat Fulham in the FA Cup next week as well, which means that Liverpool and Fulham get that Gameweek 28 fixture, which would mean that we'd be bringing in 3 players this week that also play that week, thus saving on a chip. If we stick to these 4 transfers, then Patterson drops to the bench for Alexander-Arnold, and then Bruno, Almiron and Kane become Salah, McNeil and Darwin. Darwin picked up a knock last game week, but he is fine and he's back in training. 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 2 matches, much like Salah. There is a chance that he comes off early though, with Jota and Firmino both available options to Klopp. So McNeil's a pretty uninspiring pick, but it's slim pickings among the budget mids. Iwobi and Sarabia are also options. McNeil is the one taking corners, and it was him who assisted Tarkowski's winner against Arsenal a few weeks back. There is the option to keep hold of McNeil until Gameweek 28 as well, as Everton don't blank that week. Alternatively, he could leave the team immediately for Matoma or March, who have Southampton home in Gameweek 26, followed by a double game week. Let's take a moment to talk about the free hit as well. I had considered making a free hit team video, but in my eyes it's not worth using this week. Despite the probable -8 hit, it's not been my thinking to use it at any point this week. Let's discuss the pros and cons. The pro is that if you use it now, then you can load up on 3 Liverpool, 3 Arsenal, maybe 3 Everton assets as well, who will double. That said, pretty much all of us have 3 Arsenal assets already. This is the latest graphic from Mikhail Tokvam, which projects a number of fixtures in future game weeks. 1.0 indicates 1 fixture, 2.0 indicates 2. So the simple question to ask here is, if you free hit now, what's your plan in Gameweek 28, Gameweek 29 and Gameweek 32? Those are more significant game weeks coming up. Gameweek 28 is a blank, Gameweek 32 is a blank, and Gameweek 29 is the biggest double game week of the season in all likelihood. In Gameweek 28 there might only be 5 of 10 games that go ahead. If Gameweek 29 is likely to be the biggest double of the season, do you really want to free hit in 3 Arsenal players and 3 Liverpool players to double this week, when in Gameweek 29 you could free hit in a full 11 that double? Or if you don't free hit in Gameweek 29, perhaps you wildcard that week instead, in which case you could free hit in Gameweek 32 instead. In a nutshell, although a -8 is not ideal this week, most of us can scrape through with a hit or 2. Our teams are all different though, so if your team is plagued of injuries and blanks, and maybe if you can only field 4 or 5 players, then it's an understandable decision to free hit. So for that reason, no chip will be used this week. Gameweek 28 is the absolute earliest one will be considered. Thanks for watching today's video, and if you'd like to follow my team and other FPL content, make sure you're subscribing. I'll read all your comments, so drop one below of your plans. See you soon for the next one.